dioxins, free chemical byproducts. Chemical factories be produce toxins. No matter into the drinking water. And they say, oh baby, city, a treatment facility and treaty most of the time. Some of these pollutants end up in the drinking water. Shall be environmental carcinogens, and also infections and also cancer. Infections. Ebini dia hepatitis B ni hepatitis C also hepatocellular carcinoma cancer your liver mu HPV human papilloma virus 6 16 18 so also the anogenital cancers oto and cancers or cervical cancer, gastric cancer and so bacteria be a friend of Helicobacter pylori and also cancer we adult T cell leukemia and also lymphoma and HTLV1 human T cell leukemia virus 1 and on causes cancer into here there were a lot of viruses. Epstein-Barr virus and so a cause lymphoma antivirus is a cause cancer and also any into prevention which means by now build immune system not to me deal with infections a bit me prevent cancer. You say your content kakra. If you have genetics, cancer is very also linked to genes. Colorectal cancer, all those idea what was here and no any markers and I say in ruby and I say chemicals be a way you move more. You oncologists it will be a horn more almost tested. For example, BRCA1, BRCA2 now common for breast and ovarian cancer. And only in say a linked to ovarian and breast cancer. And anybody be brio honor onye who say or sa BRCA1, BRCA2 nibia. Now perfectly healthy. And so no akwa ni yakotwetwa no nufu nyina free honum. Ni nufu nya hwe. So mobeka Angelina Jolie eyebi. Unfortunately, too much of a radical step to take as a prevention. Because genes, true say you can get the genes, but you don't have to get the cancer because it may prevent that from happening. Yakoya nimka cry be dia making. Nesopharia cantina lung cancer, Burkitt's lymphoma, gastric cancer, pancreatic cancer, retinoblastoma, all these cancers linked to genetics. But genetic factors be just 5 to 10% depending on genes. Okay, go into some serious stuff for her. It is a mobile acquire cells and first to divide in the bed cancer. Normal cell ni cell a tia por na bibia enye no a nyakopo boss and tenas and say na tie. Enti cell no ye will bibi wo mu a ye first as a kosua e wo me ho na genes ni nyina no e wo. Enti ya no cell no nyini a cell nankasa no emu pai mienu na genes no so mu pai mienu nti wo hwe a we mu ache mienu ba akokose na ba akokose na na kosua na dan finfin na genetic material ni nyina wo mu no na no so mu ache na ayese enti na ekoso na nyini sa na enipadua no fa so nyini na cancer be start here motion left has your carcinogenic agent. First of all, you have to have an exposure. When you're exposure to the chemicals, that also cancer. Now, when you're exposure to that also cancer, and say chemicals, say radiation, say viruses, say BBA, and no amma sa genes na what cancer cell no asay adane no. Mommy yanka hunu say. Nipadua na dwumadie edi nyina na se betimi edi agisa genes no na kire no de onye enti genes no na kire se sa cell we ebeba be ye ensa anase we ebeba be ye ehwene anase we ebeba be ye aso ana we ebeba be ye meyafunu we ebeba be ye mahrawa anase me kidneys anase mani genes no na kire indi ho na information na ewo. In the cancer, most of the time, genes na damaged. Your friend mutation. The whole starts in the first process, your friend initiation. Initiation, anything, and it's a start cancer, no start. In the chemical, affect cell no na initiate cell cancer no. It initiate we are na a starting process ni we are. And only the first stage. Into the classic cancer stages are doctor for your trying and answer your dear Jumana. Yes, 3 stages. Initiation, say promotion, and it's a cancer no a fee enyini na ayekese na ayekese. And at the third stage, you know, the progression, and it's saying say air tre ewo baby e wono na fe e free baby e wono so ato baby fufu. These are the 3 stages. Inti time ya ake you know me ba be kwan ya ye be fa so a ye be prevent cancer. Mom yen kan say and this yan ya to the cancer is a preventable disease. It is still ya go through enema environment mu any genes ahoro a cause cancer yi na ye hu the stages of cancer development. Afi mom yen hwe kwan ya be fa so a ye be prevent. 1. Cancer nyina no ebe hwase a just a gene na say me nsan ko mechi biem na yen hwade wa gene no eno na the driving force enti se eno no say a na ayeden cell no asay enti se cell no say na nipadua na ntimi ankum cell no pe a ebe da ne cancer me poso ha kakra 1 minute na maka we hu asem say emphasis na area ma genes are a lot of pharmaceutical companies, a lot of researchers focus ni na your genes. They try to produce genetic therapies in rural. Yeah, they fight genes no ni na no. Unfortunately, no, the research doesn't support that. And nuntina for more than 60 years near it shall say year launch the war against cancer still yen cancer drone because the focus no wrong. The focus no is looking at the genes. And the genes, you know, yes, it's a factor, but it is not the dominant factor. I feel more slide. So we, if we research, you know, published in 2014, our cancer magazine, and that's a journal of carcinogenesis. Now, title, no, say cancer is a metabolic disease. Implications for novel therapeutics. Dear no we left one, where your normal cell. In the normal cell, no. Ini kusiyana na make na yefani genes na na wahana na say oba technical name my friend the nucleus. Into nucleus no anase kusiyana na baby a genes no wono. Enu nie na ha say ya yefita no e hono no na enuane nuro ni chemicals ahoro ene niema ahoro ebo ani pedua na me nya hode no so hono ye friend cytoplasm. Into cell bi anofa there was cytoplasm and your nucleus. All right? Into a divided equally. Cytoplasm no divided into 2. Now nucleus no so divided into 2. There's a nucleus no na edane cancer cell na eniema eya kose. Into a fey tumor cells so say net here. Is a tumor cells so ni na aya cancer and also divided sa ni no na bedane cancer cell. Into no omo yo man say okay. Any cytoplasm no environment na kosiano anase genes no edawo no eno ene gene nankasa no de ehin na e determine say obi benya cancer. That was the study omo ye enti de omo ye ne say omo fa a normal cell nti cell ne cytoplasm na ne say I say insuo yemfa ne say in swimming pool, maybe the way your example, fish pond, good. Fish pond, kitwa, a woha, and nam no swim woman. Sa pond no moon, a hono fish no, and then a biane obe di, yama obedian, I was a fish pond no. In the pond no, in siono, and no, a cytoplasm no. And I am fancy fish no, and no nucleus. In the omofa cell, I normal, and cytoplasm, normal. And omo cancer nucleus, cancer genes, a share cell them. And almost yan shady bc. No more share ya muhun cell no a divided no, not a produce normal cell. I say, wow. We thought said the genes no and a produce cancer. I didn't think that genes near cancer cell, cancer genes. Now so you have to environment are clean and healthy, no. antimi produce cancer in the division and also the offspring. And almost the reverse. The reverse in say omofa cancer cytoplasm. Yes, cell environment no cancerous. And omu yi genes ni free cancer cell no mu yi ni gene no. And omu di genes are clean genes. Shame fin say yan hwese de ni besi. Mon hwe afa ye ko divide ye no na ko divide into cancer. So we see here say the driving force behind cancer development no enye genes no, it is the environment. Na sa environment no ana say environment na cells no mu no and no sa factors na impact na no the epigenetic factors and only the inuane ayedi inru ayenom and insu ayenom chemicals you use to and no any the most important factor right now in him say drive the growth of cancer. All right. Inti afa mo mi enhwe. See ehwe stages of cancer development now. Stage 1. Mo ka say na ya ka stages no, ya ka initiation. Ho asem. Na 3 stages but me de ba kwa ka ho. Inti me instead of 3 no me de ba ko aka ho ba ko no any the exposure factor. 1. Say we are exposed to cancer cells. And sana wetimi nipadua no etimi adane cancer. We are exposed to chemicals that cause cancer, different carcinogens. Okay. Enti no exposure no de. So we are exposed at the end betimi aya afa ho. Enti how to prevent that prevention of stage 1. And saying your liver nyankopon boy and your liver no wa hoodin kese say odi cleaning nipadua no cleaning from all these cancer chemicals. And our chemical bi more chemical bi ho no more plants more for the glucosinolates. And no na aboa man liver no nya hoodin na otimi di clean cancer chemicals. If you say dey bia da ye koye home ye no ye didi enema chemicals it may cause cancer. Enti no any idea say which means he say so build you liver now protect your liver here liver no betimi a cleaning itself. Afei sa chemicals ye here na wo vegetables must be a friend of the cruciferous vegetables. And no any the chemical number 1 a boy and my idea then a detox a cleaning sa cancer chemicals a ho a hinyano was our vegetables we more broccoli, collard greens, bok choy, beet greens, arugula, kale, watercress, cabbage. So our family way a ho and only the number 1 detox chemical vegetables are your against cancer. After you hear the stages of cancer, stage number 2, initiation only saying any say chemical no abani peduanum na a convert cell no genes no into cancer cells. And no any saying a transformer cell na madana cancer. Now no a say gene na a permanent damage. Untimi nya na hwema nye chemicals cause so be ni any PAA na make am wasem no. A free fried meats, broiled, heated meats, 17 different chemicals like that. And a yehu, enama yaho, yatuton, yachi, imu. And another one, a friend PAH. PAA ni polycyclic aromatic amines. And only the free protein meats, and another one, a friend polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. And also a different cry. We know no also cancer cells. And on initiate cancer. No? Okay, stage 2 prevention. About then you prevent stage 2. And near my media prevent stage 2. No, if I say cancer, no, it start to cry. It has to grow. Something has to make it grow. But you bet me, ama I prevent it say it grow. Na nipedia no akanasha nti ebewo enyini da. Nti na wo cancer but to be wu. Na enyini enema yesa na fiber number 1 it removes our chemicals no if you GI tract for example you beta glucans or oats mo if you say carcinogens na chemicals na cause oxidative stress na generating maybe free radicals and free radicals no cause tissue damage na cause inflammation and no you need say a link to a lot of diseases cancer, heart disease, stroke, cataracts, aging, memory loss. Now, antioxidants, your chemicals, it may prevent DNA damage and oxidative stress. and our face, you know, a boy am I repair your DNA. Inti sa chemicals are a bit media preventive stage 2, na hindi be free. I say, we share within the highest sources of antioxidants, you know, and here now, I say. Na saa we a research a almost publish here. You know, na media go as you know, be here. The Food and Chemical Toxicology, almost published in 2002. Title was saying anti-tumor promoting potential of selected spice ingredients with antioxidative and anti-inflammatory activity. A short review. In Tixakami, we know blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, raspberry, vegetables, we know herbs, hibiscus, oregano, sage, peppermint. We know itimi detox nipediano na prevent oxidation. Stage 3, promotion. Promotion no, and so saying, after cancer cells, na shall say a grow na and multiply. Now you want maybe only pediano my friend promoters, a promote cancer no money. And you work chemicals, be so your friend anti-promoters, and also a kind of share a money. A being a yedika can wasm. It said you would be a diabana a yini, na a swaba, sapa pepe. Now, stage way promotion is reversible. I shall say a yini or betting a canasha manasa I shrink. It depends on the conditions and the medical cano environment now, cancer cells in the woman, epigenetic factors, and on the bachelor say cancer cell be promoted na yini ana say a bekash na amwana aju and any pediana canasha. Into stage 3, no any promotion. Okay, now Mosha. And near ma a researcher or publish who say blacky nipa a cancer and a nipem and sana yaba shasia abaya intervention. Now who say cancer no and one saying into shasa graph ya machemu emuachini left side near growth ni saying cancer ni right side near then apoptosis and it's saying cancer dying. Now who say cancer ni and now almost a sound diet. It's a sound diet cry. It's a sound diet, nothing na cancer on shrink it in unibium. And now for we know the growth promoters be a friend IGF-1. IGF-1 is insulin like growth factor 1. Almost the good cells cancer also a one I said unibium. So and I social has almost okay, you the opposite. To say you heard growth no, you heard the shrinking, the death no. Into the death no this mu lab no mo hwa entimi enwu kra kakra bi na ewu omo sesa na diet na afi hwe afi na ewu omo bi no so okay yemfa IGF-1 na sanka ho bi omo di goose no na afi ni bu a ewu no na stop. Into conclusion is say IGF-1 is one of those things. Na IGF-1 na hin free animal flesh, animal protein, eggs, cheese, or dairy products, milk, eggs, chicken, beef, and now animal flesh, it promote the synthesis of IGF-1, a cancer promoter, a cancer in. All right. In this stage 3, a prevent stage 3, and no promoters, a estrogen. And it's our IGF-1. In a sign, you your name may be phytoestrogens are our plants, you a whole lot of others. But the most important ones when you're dealing with cancer prevention your friend isoflavones and lignans. Isoflavones you was soy foods. In the first, nipa be braces breast cancer and also breast cancer, I mean soy. But research naturally said estrogens now what plants were phytoestrogens. Instead of promoting cancer, it actually shrinks it and prevents it from growing. And the next one is lignans. So lignans, chemicals be so udi in fiber womu to say flax, especially flax. Now bacteria won't soon more convert into these lignans and preventing the promotion of cancer. Now in the world right now, the most concentrated source of lignans known to research is found in flax seeds. Flax seeds. I feel green tea is our polyphenols via your friend ECGC epigalactocatechin gallate. And the DNA yada koye twist kakra. And no green tea is a chemical there green tea mono polyphenol no and also inhibit promotion of cancer. Afei red meat and now no you can have some that the IGF-1 womb and a whole lot of other chemicals and also promote cancer cells. We reduce animal fat and also serve as reservoir now. That is how to prevent stage 3. Afei we research here published in 2005. Now we share fa a mema what prostate cancer emoja ena the cancer cells no egu dish mo research no ena hu say the moja no egu cells no are cancer cells no so a mema edi American standard American diet na only 9% of the cancer cells were killed. And almost switch your diet to plant-based diet. Almost switch your diet to plant-based diet. I feel 70% of the cancer cells were killed. I feel the same people in here, so that same research in here. And so this is 1 year later. Into this was standard American diet, plant-based diet. 1 year later, 70% of the cancer cells were dying. This is the same patients. Into any baseline PSA 6.4 nanograms, where a prostate cancer na wohono, and a shower kakrakano. After 1 year later, now after a shrink, na PSA no about 4.5. We a prevention, say any advanced stage of cancer is say in term now take preventive measures. Now the SL you can shrink it. When you say prostate cancer, now the treatment and say watch and wait. You try say because a slow growing. Now a drew a baby a year urging someone not for you treat you. Into when say now they were watching and waiting, they were able to do the research on them. Okay, stage 4. Now you progression and saying and it's a cancer now any na afei etre. Ako baby I want na atre so free baby I want to different parts of the body. I know na timi can say metastasis no. Stage 4 is a quite be first for preventing. And it's a boost to your body's immune system's natural killer cells. Natural killer cells, cells be one in no more. Cancer cells and virus infected cells. So, and basically you boost your immune system. Now, one of the things you need to say boost your immune system. A type of mushroom here, friend, shiitake mushrooms. Are very, very, very powerful. At boosting the NK cells now, and after so block angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is saying, and this is a cancer, no, say bit me now I spread there. Here new blood vessels. Now blood vessels, and then the Bible one man it spread. Until block the development of new blood vessels, a cancer into me. There were a lot of things. And my medical can have me no it me boy. Now and you may be sure you name say boy vitamin D, flax, berry, soy, and turmeric. Okay. Into way any day we enough you can't prostate cancer because I don't know affected member parkers. Into young man so the researchers so we study 3 different breast cells cancer cells and you different types. Into you move for 3 different types of breast cancer cells. And only blacks you and now almost cast almost test into a quite almost so test and say acquire cancer cells no efaso enyini and esesa enipa no edidie into all the 3 cancer cells in different types where you find MCF, where you find T47D, where you ZR75-1, different types, but the growth was the same because the environment was the same. Almost the same environment after na growth no swati. Now we the growth swati. Now we need growth swati. And say okay, and let's do another test. And say into cell we are almost lab na almost fast cancer cells no and almost the good petri dish mo any into almost the good petri dish no mo and almost the nipa or what cancer no emoja egu cancer no so say yan hwe de ebesi nti omudi gu so no first no na we nyina na ha nyina aye black nyina na say netie na nyina aye cancer cells na tumor na aye muma ba omudi nipa na wo cancer ni moja gu so no kakra bi ne wu ye so ho kakra bi ne wu ye we a aka nyina ye cancer and almost okay yen change nipa ne diet and almost change nipa ne diet to a plant-based diet into this same in just 2 weeks omudi emoja no from the same individual the only difference is that the same individual is now on a plant-based diet. Omudi ni moja gu cancer no so no. Look at what happened. This is what happened. All the cancer cells ni na diaka anyway. We no mina e kunu nti body no just 2 weeks. It na ama blood na is so toxic to cancer cells it was killing the blood cancer cells left, right, and center. Omu wie na omu ye another study. Omu say okay, yen hwe no the opposite side ni yen making sure say ye hu ye no kra. And omu ye bibia your friend of tunnel imaging of DNA fragmentation and cell death. And on saying and it's a DNA no it say answer na cells no cancer cell ni be wu I just a DNA na wu and as a genes na wu nti ye was study bi as a cell ni wu a gene bi e be wu bi na soja nti omu hwe no mu hwe say omu ewo cancer na omu edidi standard American diet no kakra bi na asoja omu kakra bi one omu turn omu diet no to plant-based diet no look at what happened. All the genes of the cancer were dying and then also white high. And basically what it means is you can make your blood inhospitable. Are toxic to cancer cells. I said na me no besi. Na se questions bi o mo a afeye bisa. Okay, intimidate man no be see her say. Now if question be or my questions be ba na di aka me de beka ho me da mase.
Yo Dr. Martin Opoku Jemfi yada wase e was a presentation ya wayama yen. And you know you have 20 minutes for questions and answers. And she saw person busa question na ube to me apeja wonsa by using the sign and as a go to the church na type of question na person busa. And I say, "Obetuma Bodin, na me recognize wa na odo question aba." It is abe de ye beje insemisa hodo said the beya doctor ebetumi eya no. The who say yenia ameniam pon sawo so timpacho yenia ameniam pon. Messia mo say sanse pese mani pa be opportunity go straight to your point, simple said the beya betumi recognize many people. Yenia ameniam pon pacho bremu.
Open me that was say doctor that was no church. Masem busa ni. And so can radiation who asem. Na radiation no can betimi abamu ya. Denti ami busa say ni. Once there was some a small gadgets I try who share no some radiation. Phone, computers, Wi-Fi machines, how do I try who share na radiations? And only if and so a cancer cause na ini biana. Asem busa no.
So basically radiation, any form of radiation, say X-ray, say gamma rays, or say sun's UV rays, into BBA, a bit cause cancer. Now, sa issue of gadgets radiation, no, issue be a settled. Research need be say, it may cause cancer. It be say there be it may cause cancer. But basically, the less wired you can get, the better it is. Because even though research is conclusive, can say yes, Wi-Fi anyway, it may cause cancer. No, there is a lot of evidence that says it may cause interference in terms of your overall health. And the less why a typical example of radiation, a bit more dangerous. Meaning some more experimental we are. What the cell phone? That time was so now kasa. A bedroom maybe boss was so because cell phone communicating with the tower now radiated certain types of information be waves be magnetic waves be echo between the tower and yourself. Until only a typical example, but some American can research is conclusive. Until mean can say yes or no, but the say the more wired or the more gadgets you have, the more interference you have to your health. Until see a bit much swa that boy. That's it.
Yo, dog, that's my main questions. See, me and Sir every church in Mumbra. If we are married or more pajamas and the kind panel, or we say, what are the implications of breast reduction and its cancer effects? And the second one here say, does dried fish like adrenaline help prevent cancer? Ghana for you, I say, we was adrenaline once more. And the last one they say, can every tumor turn into cancer, or is every tumor cancer?
Okay. First question, and I'll say,
First question, I'll say breast reduction.
Oh, breast reduction, yeah. Okay. Breast reduction, no dear. Basically, the cancer effect, no dear. Minyam who study be a breast reduction surgery, a cause of cancer. I know the minyam who so be a who be a, the minyam who be sa. But the American say, any pani be brave, no, almost preemptive strike. Say prevention, especially ya kaso more BRCA1, BRCA2 genes, and BRCA1, BRCA2, you know, say related to breast and ovarian cancer. And you'll be a hormone say, yasimi was a gene a genetic cause of breast cancer. And me person menya breast cancer, and you know, me call ako surgery, mastectomy. Now ako yi, and yes, we onya breast cancer and you. I said be ya own ye binti no akona ni breast perfectly healthy, ni yakutwa every ho. And no na make am asem say. So we share all the available research are a unnecessary step, and here's yes, sir. Because most of the last images now they buy now, even no more breast cancer, yes, it's on the diet. You know, the blood became so toxic, say it was able to kill some of these cells. It is an America, and free adrenaline, and now they are yahono, and no, the minimum research be just and now to me prevent cancer. And you know, no. Now the any mom say enam cause cancer because in America no PA ni PAH na chemicals na onwa nam ochi nam otu nam a produce no eno na cause cancer ntino so person prevent cancer dia enye enam bia ni hold my research say it may prevent cancer. And the last question no say
the last question no cancer is every tumor a cancer.
Okay, and tumor no you mienu. You will be on my benign and you will be a malignant. Benign, let's just say, I a tumor, but and yeah, cancerous. Cancerous, and then they say, there one no, I mean, can say tumor, cancer, be a tumor. Now, tumor, no, you know, you will benign, I just say, no, yeah, the best spread it, and I will pack on, baby, a one and a way be at the worst, a bit mine, and say, I can see. Now, it be as a structure, be and not a mere structure, not just a suffocating. In this, I will hold on na engineer. I will hold on sa na de akubu. Intinye tumor bia na ye cancer. Tumor bia ye benign no na enye cancerous. And you will be your honor and no edanic cancerous. No na be carcinoma. Na carcinoma and na spread inti enye tumor bia na ye cancer.
Your dog me that say, say ye nuaba Agnes Sechi upeja won santi bacho fa odi ene bra. Na wo de ba meji ye nua SA enti Agnes Sechi na SA umienu mumu some questions.
Okay, doctor me pacho o kasa na o kafa air freshener ye di wo fie no.
Yeah.
Let me just say candle so kan ho na air freshener no e dey na ba kafa ho because eno ye use my fie ye hwam.
So the American say environmental pollutants household pollutants chemicals be where you need to cause cancer. And now the air freshener example say chemicals be brave or air freshener more ni na no ye toxic chemicals. If you are him and so no over home in Yamaku na bibia over home bibia no particles yamfa yani but particles one from manumuntina utimi ho ehua na ekwa nipa bia mu a na ko dissolve wo mojam na free na cause problems into a lot of those chemicals you benya mo ma use because papa obia betimi aton ne dia akere say we papa chain we but ni nyina na chemicals into betimi a yempe kwan bia different way you can imagine ayeham.
You know me that say say ye nua so identity SA timbacho fabria na wi amakocha to akopeke questions SA
You, Dr. Medasi.
Yeah.
My question is similar to the sister you be saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying near near Diana, na if you be a sent abaho. And to say I'm first chemicals here, you were baby to say cinnamon, any vinegar, any man, and also any chemicals, and also to me my cancer now, my question back on.
I know Saturday, mean research be actually my cancer. In fact, your fragrances be a natural, essential oils. Your different one, your cardamom, your tea grass, your tea tree oil, your a lot of different essential oils in him. Obit me the as air freshener. Intino be a natural, be a free lab, be a chemical, be a no.
Dog, you hear chat here, Obi Busa say, and yeah, Argentina vegetarians and so cancer woman. Does it depend on the stage? And another question about the kahona now they can say, Obi say enlarged prostate a lady to cancer now.
Okay, so basically, on say we know Nipediano and yet mathematics to say 1 + 1, they be a 2. Okay, 1 ni 1 boom, or any day a 2. This is Yankopon Kwan say 1 + 1 = 1. Entino, the ye in interest the fact say obi aye we in bintino unya cancer cry. A possible say obi hold more why vegetarian and so no wetimi anya cancer. But the research naturally say obi or vegetarian no betimi anya bi onya the body no be dealing with it better than obi a onye vegetarian, because to begin with no ni moja no send me the example naturally ni moja no aye hostile, ni moja no aye toxic to cancer cells that. Most of the time no more almost show me the they survive cancer better. Number 2, and you will be a vegetarian, be answering the DDA. Obi or an argument and said the fact is only no a vegetarian. Would French fries, unum soda now, and one so would processed food in the idea, only vegetarian, Papa. Intino. The Ayaka wants me, a friend whole food, plant-based lifestyle. Just we're doing you as close to natural as possible. And no more seven yaking. Into we are familiar, not the Akano Yaman.
That's now Obinzo say enlarged prostate and so any cancer, any relation.
Enlarged prostate, there be no cancer, just enlargement. And a research in Swatch and yet relation be any, I don't know, benign prostatic hyperplasia and only enlarged prostate. And the prostate, like I can see. Now, any, cells need normal. Okay. A normal cells, but cancer cells, are done. As a cell, not the 2 microscope, I see now the normal cell to us here. We won't say we need baby a chassis free and baby a courier. That is cancer cell, but enlarged prostate need cells need normal, but yet
okay. Now, when who say Dr. CKM and I nearby Evelyn watching by and Sana Baby Family, Dr. Faway to us, Obi Busa church news said GMO, and that's how genetically modified in Nuania Yedino. And no, predisposed. Predisposed to cancer now, not any connection that causal link.
Yeah. So GMO no a very controversial. Oma kashepa, but the whole idea of genetic modification is say na medika can we decide obi a hormone person obedo ewira into or spray chemicals go so na kum ewira no into oma design plants be said ebeya bibi e friend say we decide tolerant. Just all the chemicals in the buswa plants wo ho nyina ewira wo ho nyina be wu, but that particular one no emu intina yesa enam saudi bebre na gusu intino it soaks up the chemical okodia when the chemical no be one of those chemicals na very toxic, your friend glyphosate, and no you nim say the research why say cause cancer. In fact, South America be a lot of genetically modified soy, GMO soy. Now, obi ba wo ne banana ne uninsa obehe na oni ani a lot of enkwara ya wo mo within the farming areas no a lot of congenital defects, abnormalities ye nim say e no na ekoso intini ye nim say ekoso cancer intini so obenya GMO aduane de hwe free hu na hwe organic.
Yo Dr. Medasin Pacho yanko Dr. CK
met me aboa no GMO no ho kakra.
Okay, and Pacho for quickly right now we are na Dr. CK.
GMO the last game last said Dr. Ebo and me can say what the GMO is for, say Omar in such a way say aduane bi a emperor what the beto ho awiem ade esenke pro no beto ho sa 10 years da ho abo bia amfana no nka which implies say chemicals no omde ye kan you could be cast dey ahye kubu no even toxic to animals emperor better ho 10 years it is a ade da ho na sa bo akra ntimi enwe emane nsey a it means that there are some chemicals we want emwa enipa ntia media no
Yo, Dr. Isipokuye Dawase for your contribution. No, but your Dr. CKM, what you mean can about your bremu?
We Dr. CKM, my wife, Dr. Vera.
Okay.
I just wanted to make a quick point. And it said we need to understand because sin is in the world, sickness is also part of that.
That's right.
Now, after the Garden of Eden, God told us that we're going to die. And over the years, we had to die. And I was some say you can be a vegetarian and eat only a plant-based diet, but you can also get cancer.
That's right.
Young lady, be a friend of Matoya Newman. She was strictly vegetarian, Seventh-day Adventist, 43 years old, on a rare form of cancer. She died, I think, on the 29th. Ne papa ehede naturopathic center, Alabama. But she died. And to put that into perspective, so people can be allergic to it. For example, soy. Some people are allergic to soy. For example, shiitake mushrooms. So some people are allergic, and you can eat it and have anaphylaxis. And in Ansana, we crowd approach you to start eating certain foods. No, go to one kasawu physician or what will medical history, so they can help you. Any nutritionist, they can help you plan your diet. It's extremely important because one is now taking things at face value. You may get sick being a vegetarian and die from that. Secondly, my last point, Harvard University School of Medicine, website, and I hope all of you will go there and read it. You cannot boost your immune system. You can strengthen your immune system. The definition of boost is to improve. You cannot improve upon what God has already made. Your immune system is perfect as God made it, but sin has ruined the immune system. So don't say boost, say strengthen. You can strengthen it. You can never improve what God has done because you're human.
Yeah, that's dog. So basically, what I meant by boosting your immune system is a research, extra say. I'm sure the NK natural killer cells now. There are certain lifestyles. If you have those lifestyles, you practice those lifestyles, they make the natural killer cells' ability to kill cancer cells, more effective than other lifestyles. And now into so far, study now, Petri dish study now, share how cancer blood from a standard American diet versus blood from a plant-based diet. That was what it was. And yes, the boost, it's used not means start creating new immune cells, but with the one that you already have to make it more effective at killing cancer cells, bacteria, viruses, and so on and so forth. That's it.
Thank you. Mami, through this question quick, na minkofa Mami Evelyn, what you will say? Drinking lemon water every day, it will prevent cancer now.
This is not an isolated standalone say. Bibi bakupe we na me what we are talking about is a lifestyle. And yet one thing is say they lemon water and they prevent cancer. A whole lot of things. In America now, all the stages, you near maybe it me prevented those stages. And then me outline a whole lot of things. And we go back to okay. Anyway, and a whole lot of things I'll be prevent all those different stages of cancer. And yet, internet as well. There's a whole lot of things. There's all no lemon water. There's all no way. There's all no way. But me young research say lemon water it may prevent cancer. But the minimum say a whole food plant-based diet. There's so much research about it. It's undisputed that fact. It's the only dietary lifestyle a reversible disease talk about diabetes, talk about high cholesterol, talk about high blood pressure. You can reverse a lot of these diseases just by changing your diet to a whole food, plant-based diet. Now, cancer and so, diet plays a big role in helping prevent it. But it doesn't mean, say, the fact, say, why you're weighing in but you can do your best and leave the rest to God.
That's a paradox. Mami nko insano nso tiye mami Evelyn Boateng pa church ni nka bremu. Bacha o kasa bia na wo bi tiye mami Evelyn Boateng. And the bra yen tin nka no mami fan fam obi nso obusa bibi about spices. I say adobo ne other spices say die aduane no so e.
Yeah, so spices, there are a lot of those spices. Your research me the research ni guasie. You name say antioxidant, any anti-inflammatory properties. Using certain spices, as part of an overall healthy lifestyle, you name say you're good because it reduces inflammation. A lot of these diseases are a lot of the chronic diseases are the baseline inflammation. All of those have inflammation. Even in cancer, your cell be your friend NF kappa beta chemical beer. You name say and no approval to inflammation. Now, in fact, your research as part of the cancer therapies, to find a chemical that can do that. But a lot of spices can do that. Turmeric is one of them. Sage is one of them. And spices ni bi ohon mo a etimi yesa, but nye spice ni nyina de kakra minim no ene de mabobodin ni de list na me de to so no. And two, ade a eye ma obi a no enkyere se won so koye e be ya ma obi ohon ma ni yefunu ntimi spices. Inti bia obi akodi black pepper na won so akodi black pepper na oyema ya na say ade si ye o. Inti no nyankopon bo ye na obo variety bebre. So you look at the variety, which one of those are ebeboa no what you use. But there is a lot of research that says some of these spices have anti-inflammatory potential and properties.
Dog me that say say and you may why emphasize the plant-based diet. And the question will be we say can you what is a plant-based diet? And or they to also say, is it just adding fruits or vegetables, or is there more to it?
Okay, so I'll go back to the research that I may refer to now. Plant-based diet, what they did is especially the breast cancer cases, for 2 weeks, diet was restricted to only plants. So basically, for 2 weeks. No chicken, no fish, no eggs, no cheese, no dairy. That is for 2 weeks. It's a plant-based diet. Generally, in general terms, we are referring to a diet that is predominantly from plants, whether it's vegetables or whether it's fruits or grains or legumes or nuts or seeds. And consider the plant-based diet. But and obia and ebetini aye 100% plant-based. The recommendations are based on good research. We share the blue zones na baby we are seeing na baby any petini up to 100 years. The one underlying factor whether it's Sardinia in Italy, Okinawa in Japan, and they say the people's diets 80 to 90% plant-based and just 10 to 20% animal-based. And generally, many patients, the advice I give them is say, your goal is to go as plant-based as possible. And so to me and pure plant-based, that is not the goal. The goal is at least 80 to 90% plant-based and just 10 to 20% animal-based. Oh yes, you get a good balance, because what you want is you want to get all these factors here to make your immune system very, very capable of dealing with some of these things that you can happen.
Yo, dog, yeah, that's a pa. I always say, come to me for obia na ebrenu ntino. Mame emfa yenua ya 12. Me unso sawo so nti pa choti me nka brem ya 12.
Yo, me pacho
Me that's it, Pastor. Me but my question is say heat na I saw them no it may cause cancer na. But my question that's it.
Heat sir I know the minya who research bi a che say it may cause cancer. That's
You.
Dog, yeah, that was it, baby. Say, and then your questions maybe on a grading, you know. My main for last 1 year, the 1 minute here came fan to us. So this is a magic cube, dear Duano, and I gonna for dear Duano. Obusa say, and also say a coso cancer, and I say, and what some to say.
I know the minya who research bi a che say cause cancer, but me say there are a lot of things in the magic cube healthy for us. To begin with, the amount of salt, sodium, by itself, from 1 magic cube, when you have a lot of sodium, very high in sodium. Number 2, a lot of those cubes, our MSG, monosodium glutamate. Monosodium glutamate, there's a lot of research where I just say are toxic to your nerves. It may cause nervous problems, and it may cause hypersensitivity. More asthma, a lot of hypersensitivity, allergic diseases. It may be worse. But cancer, the who say research be MSG also, but other problems the cube magic cube can cause it. Etina emphasis say you stay as close to nature as possible. Instead of using magic cube, you can use normal things like garlic, basil, herbs, maybe their spicy, their flavor with you. That's it.
No, but as him say questions were coming from be a great, but a idea common to you, and my main friend Nonka Hona, we answer nobody that of fire, mammy, a immune from the chat. Obi say microwave, I did warm mediano, to me also cancer, now, we and one. No, Obi say inquire this body lotions, and I heard that is a whole door you use to know. Didn't know, and also a one to say, Timbajo, who answer when not just a bonnet of everywhere by a brain into that's it.
Yo, microwave, you see, one of those issues are topic now very controversial. A microwave, a domestic microwave, are you using the fee and research, and yet very concrete and yet conclusive. Say microwave are you using with fee a course. Even though microwaves in Ankasano a cause cancer, but the domestic microwave are utensils and as appliance are using with fee. Research very conclusive. Into the individual, so no use pair because I know the mean teaming say definitely no meaning research be or white chest cancer. No, the mean who be the answer. Number 2, skin lotion, hair dye. A lot of those are toxic chemicals. My philosophy, most of my philosophy is a mean to me and mean come no because BB your skin it gets into you, absorbed somehow, it gets access into the internal of your body. Now, research actually says, especially black hair dye, research actually says are linked to cancer. I know the research actually now the simple answer, and I said there's a lot of research to show say a lot of the hair dyes, especially the very dark ones, are linked to cancer, especially breast cancer, and especially in African American women. Indeed, so be TMIA. Now answer no.
Dog, that was say, education out there, my until final word out of my and your brain on that, young fact to be doing connery and I am for the account and to us.
Yo, me that's intino. Until for Sunday, I can, yes, who said, yes, cancer area, a community be but cancer, no shame 90 to 95% here caused by environment and only 5 to 10% and genetics. What it means, they say, we can do a lot to prevent cancer from happening. Now, research, societies are almost lifestyle, and yet it's a standard American diet lifestyle, any Western European diets, not a lifestyle now. Certain cancers, even generally cancers, are low. One example, colorectal cancer, colon cancer. Ocean Africa, Ocean Asia, Southeast Asia, we do a lot of plants now, and you're common, sir. And then the Asian say, And you may be bria betimi aye a ebeboa yen. Now the best thing we can do ni say ebeboa may prevent cancer no any say. You go back to nature as close to what God gave us as possible. And non chese se will be sa na onya cancer na chese sa enye. Na the chere say wo ye wafa mu de what you know you can do to prevent disease. And if it happens, but most of the time, no, if you do your best, you prevent a lot of these diseases. It's a fact. But the fact also stands to say there are some things, unfortunately, we have no control over them because we are not God. Like saying Dr. Khan, we live with sin. It may be a they will happen and we can't explain it. But mostly, the you do it, and there's research to show that you can prevent a lot of these things. That's
Yo, Dr. Martin Opoku Jemfi, Onyamin Shao, Ewosa education Adiama Yen, Yenye ya femu die na yemfa diaka emenyame. Yenu ya Daniel, sorti menka, bepacho so jumedie muna fatwa soma yen.
Yo, bisa for say yeah better Dr. Martin Opoku Jemfi asipe ye adisua Adiama Yen mre no mjidi ye se ye nyina ye fa ne dia ye adwuma onyame be hya ye mbebrebe cancer de se nyame adom abon ho ban na wonyenye bia anamon bia wa ankasa obetumatu bia se wonya bie no ye ofam de ya bia en sa ebebo ayempa enunti ye call into a season of prayer the best nipa miensa ebebo mpa ya mai nipa odikan no ye nua Daniel Kakraba ye besre no na wode asemu a doctor de bre yen won sre nyame ho ahoden ma yen ya tibebre yenim bebre enu modeno eden wonyame moaye na yenwe kwanya yebetuma fa so a yebetuma tena se ye na yetumi atere wasase so so ne wonu nyame no ahihya ma yen enti yenu abobọ mpa ya so nyame se woni ye nim na adesua a wode ama yen nwere yentumi mfa nya adwuma ebesre a special prayer so ye bo ama yenu anomo a singles I way and temina or more woman do woman feel so more aware and I say woman so more content crow at this point ye best share yama me grace quartin na or non so abo sa empire no amaye na ya share osofo Peter Omane enso ye de anim na wabọ mpaye shonko kwan so na wodi asafo mai nyina hyenyamensa titiriu ene COVID-19 abesensen yenkom yakoni abedie yensre unyame enchen bambo amid COVID nyina unyame nhira na safo na woma na safo so enkoso a entumpon na mo ne bambo no enye kese ewo asafo mai nyina so emeda kwan yefo asafo wi asafa na nyina so for Peter Omane ebedi anim ewo saa empire nim tebusia for mmaye nyina yensie trase nya wo betuma bu nkotodwe na ye a kono saa na enuane mu miensen eni anim ewo yen season of prayer no eni Daniel oti enka obeso mama
Uti obonso mu meeting. I also the okay, but I don't know why.
and the mommy Grace betumi akọ na se otumi tene ne ho na wasaba
Mama ye mompae. Yenaja awosro. Yeda wasi wa ye kan foodin. Yeda wasi se wo boy ye wo suban so se won seso. Na wo boy ye no wo ma ye hu se enye se wonipa nko a betena se. Wo ba be ye ne seso boafo ama no. Enti wo bo oba e kan be ma ho. So ontena se na afi won hye wunyame animonyam. Yeda wasi bebre se wa hwe ye so. Na wo di achede asronku amema ye mu binom. Amemi ye nya ahokafo. Na aduru ebinom so omumfie so. ayes omu enya ahokafo ne nsusu omu nya twedi ampo anwumre yaba wanim yesra wo mobro ho ade se saafo nyina omu hia ahokafo onyame kunimdifo a wo chama ne su aboantete aso twedi ampo yeso se ko mumwa na obi biara a wo hwehwe ho kani a wo hu ba bi yeso ofa na wodi if ebre adam no yeso se twedi ampo hwehwe saafo yi ahokafo ema wo mu na wo munye anigye ene asetena pa ema wo mu kra na wo matimi ahye wo nyame twedi ampo animonyam ebiem suso ye the single parents for a wo mu suso ekwan bi su no omu awo na nsusu omu ni ekunu ene yire saafo nyina twedi ampo ena anwumre yesra wo mobro ho ade se twedi ampo ho wo mu mobo ekwan bia so twedi ampo wo befa so na waboa wo mu se be ya wo benya ahokafo no matena se ahye wo nyame animonyam no yesra se anwumre tie yesufrɛ na feti ma yema won sebe ese ekunafo a wo mususu wahwe wo mukunu anaase wo mu eyire no na wo mu ti ho a wo musu ehwe ahonkafo no eje nyame yeso se hu yemobɔ na fe yibi ma wo mu na atimi aboa wo mu ama yatimi adɔ wo nyame ne yatimi asomu nukure mu yeso until then no yeso twedi ampon mayen twen honhom mayen akoma ene akono boni a ebetimi adi yakɔ ɔseye mu na boa ye nsebe ya ya sitena mu no yebetimi atena se ne hye wo nyame twedi ampon animonyam na onam so sa kwan so wo boa ye ya yetimi adɔ yetimi afa wakwan so nam sa ye so se wo twedi ampon wo pia obetu se ye fata waheni mu yeda wase enanwumre se watie wadoma incident amen.
Amen. Yehowa tumfo ya twaso de ayi amawo o kan wo Exodus 16:26 se Israelfo no edi wa kwan so a no fa kwan a odi ato ama wo mu so ya de odi eba mizimfo so ne bi nka wo mu erade ya de abesin se bi mu ya ni da so ne akwanfo wa wani mo nyamunti boye nyina ye wala hu ban se saya de bi nkan se bia kan obi erade sane ade man amen wadu nu ahumobro nti so ensamre mu din eni eni nkomopo de tata fa sumboni wiasim aye nam ya de emu so ya de nkan wadu nti saya ya de odi mu nti amen
Amen. Okay, so yenya Daniel and to me, ma, my empire busiafo. But therefore, that was anwumre. You nam wakwa so edi amaye. Ye here was sitting mu bia no wunyame wo de adom ye. Ne ye betumi atu ho anamon wonam panimfo so atwen adwen asiso anwumre no. Ye srew se ma ye ahoden na anamon a wosi etuo no ma ye ntumi ntu. Yesrew se dum yensa ye bompa ye ne yesrew se kansa yare se obi ewo ye mu a wanya bia yesrew se ebra ye bompa ye wonyame hu sa nipa no mobo na empo ebra wo tutu anamon ese some of these presentations here yetie na yesisa ye ne ani die ne ye niema no so ne anka research yi point to no nka wasesa na nka yare wo tutu ase afri wo mamu kra yesrew said dum yensa dum ya hoden ma yentumi fantu anamo a ebeboa yen na amaya setena wa asase so no ayede ayebehye wu nyame wudin animonyam na yetumadi enase ne wu nyame wahhehye amaye ewa asase so yeda wase anwumrei ewo de wodi amaye hraye nyina wo doba Yesu Kristo din ni munti amen.
Amen.
Yo, Abusian for Mama take you these few announcements and son ya transition them say Manusi Papa ya besha a special prayer session I say so session the senior monimo no ya besha yenu anu mo boy stream service nyina no ya besha say no de mamu stream online MIN if I say ya private na no pastor Oseba bi di anim nyame ya adom a ekina no pa no nsia Eastern Standard Time no ano yebeba pastor Amu aba bi di anim for a morning devotion no ekina ba ye na watwe ya bompa ye bebre na ye gidi Yesu se onyame nso ye nsenkyerene bebre wo ye ntem nti nyame ya adom a ekina ye bedi adanse na sane adanse die no ye mre no nti ye pese ye hwehwe no ne se bomodia se wudi wudin ebema ye nua panyi agena se wuni ne number no enie mpanyimfo de beto afidie no so but meka for the sake of more free into this particular meeting no the number no 773 403 3433 773 403 3433 ma yenua no ensanka udin sene beya ekina adansi die no wonso ubetumi enyamu echefa saa yeba mu nyina amase enumrei se mobile ye beja ha ama pastor Osei na watwaso